Today we're turning a pile of copper wire into 3 shiny bars of reclaimed metal. If you want to see the first time I poured copper in over 3 years, click up here. That video kicked off this whole copper comeback. And if you're curious about how far things have come since then, well, you're about to find out. This time I'm pouring 3 large copper bars, all from scrap wire that used to live in old electrical cables. The final bars came out clean enough to hand off to a welder friend who's now going to use them as heat sinks. Because yes, while copper is great for conductivity, silver is still the king, but silver's pricey, and copper still holds its own when it comes to pulling heat away fast. Stick around, this one's going to get hot. What's up, you guys? It's Ocean here. Now, I know you're thinking, it's just copper wire going into a crucible. How interesting can that be? But this part matters. Clean copper makes a cleaner pour. This wire is stripped by hand, no plastic, no insulation, just raw, beautiful copper. Some of it still has bends and twists from its previous life, and that's okay. Once it hits 1984 degrees Fahrenheit, it forgets about its past. Each piece is a little story, a circuit, a job site, maybe even a failed DIY project. Now it's becoming something new. Why don't electricians ever play hide and seek? Because good luck hiding when your current location is known. We're using the ToAuto TRF3000 rated to 1150 degrees Celsius, just enough for copper, which melts at about 1085 degrees Celsius. But here's the thing. Just hitting the melting point isn't enough. I always take it a bit higher to ensure the copper flows cleanly, not like chunky applesauce. I also preheated the molds. Cold molds will shock the metal and ruin the surface. For this project, I used a brick oven setup and a torch to get them nice and toasty. What do you call a furnace that's emotionally unstable? A hot mess. Inside that crucible, the copper's bubbling like lava. It's dense, reactive, and when it gets this hot, it wants to oxidize. You've got to work fast and focused. I stir occasionally with the graphite rod, and if I'm melting a lot of copper, I'll skim slag off the surface as needed. Graphite crucibles don't last forever, especially with copper, and if you're doing this regularly, expect to rotate them out every 10 to 15 pours, depending on how aggressive your temperatures are. Now for the pours. 3 copper bars, one after another. Now, copper is heavy. It moves fast. You don't get time to second guess your angles when pouring. The key here is confidence and consistency. My mold was hot, the metal was fluid, and gravity did the rest. Each pour went down smooth. No splashing, no voids, just a steady ribbon of liquid copper dropping into place. I tried to melt copper with my other furnace, but it said, I'm just not wired for this kind of heat. And that's what I like about this model furnace. What did the molten copper say when it saw the mold? I'm falling for you. These bars turned out great. Solid, reflective, and dense. Minimal surface cleanup needed. A little steel wool, and they look display ready. But these bars aren't for display. I passed them on to a welder friend. He's a stacker too, but he does welding. He uses them as heat sinks to draw thermal energy away from welds and reduce warping during tight jobs. Silver might still be the top dog for thermal conductivity, but copper, it's the workhorse. Why did the welder marry the copper bar? Because it was always cool under pressure. So there you have it. The stripped copper wire to solid copper bars, all done in the TRF3000. This furnace continues to impress, holding high temperatures, fast melt times, clean pores, and this isn't the end. I've got more projects lined up, and they only get bigger from here. If you learned something from this video or just enjoyed the melt, give it a like, drop a comment, and make sure to subscribe. I read every comment, even the ones roasting my pores. Until next time, this is Silver Oceans. Stack white as the ocean.